Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gaming Matters podcast, where we talk with real people about the real impact gaming has had on their lives, hosted by me, David White. I'm joined today by PoisonKill of twitch.tv/PoisonKill. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it's actually twitch.tv/real poison kill. I don't have poison kill yet. There's a dispute between me and Twitch on that topic.
Yes, I wrote that down. I wrote that down, but I said PoisonKill twice. But it is twitch.tv/real PoisonKill.
Correct. But I will always be poison kill. Glad to be here, man.
So, how did you get into gaming?
Oh, gaming was an accident. I was like 6 years old, and my sister was playing Star Fox on the N64. I just thought it looked cool. She couldn't beat a level. She's raging. I pick up the controller, and my first time ever playing a game, and I beat it for her.
Star Fox 64, nice.
It's got its own level of classic to it for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic. I mean, I haven't played it, but
But you at least know of it, right?
yeah. I know of the Star Fox franchise. So, what kind of games do you play now? I know you're a variety caster.
Variety caster, and that's mostly because my entire life has been variety. It's, on a Thursday, I'm grinding out for Halo, trying to get max level in Halo 3, saving up money from tournaments for a car, and the next thing you know, I'm goofing off a Guitar Hero at 2 in the morning, hoping my clicks aren't too loud to wake my parents up. That reflects in my life now too. A lot of RuneScape, a lot of Halo still, just for the nostalgia. I enjoy the simplicity of the controls. I'm really into kind of whatever feels right at the moment, because I really mostly game for nostalgia and community at this point, and not so much for the thrill of the game. Now, if I do want the thrill of the game, it's because I want to get lost. And that's where different modes in RuneScape help, like Iron Man, or booting up an old Oblivion game and just making a new character for no other reason than to reminisce on my adventures of old. Those are the kind of games that really get me going now.
Oh, so you're into Oblivion for nostalgia.
Oblivion and Morrowind. Morrowind was actually my first game played on the Xbox that I bought, not ones that my parents gave me for, Christmas, like Indiana Jones and stuff. And it was actually my first experience with a wireless controller. The controller was so bad that if I held it behind my knees, because the way I sat between me and the TV, it would lose connection. So, a lot of
Wow,
memories with the Elder Scrolls.
that is a bad controller, dude. Was that you said that was Xbox wireless controller?
Yeah, Xbox original.
Wow, I don't remember if my experience with the wireless controller was that bad. So let's talk about your content. You're a Twitch streamer. You're pretty good at it. You're the leader of the positive poison community.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, where do you start with that? You want? Is there a specific spot you want me to start throwing out info, or just take it from the bottom?
Well, I mean, everyone starts from the bottom, right? I
And
guess
now we're here.
it's a seamless way to ask. How did you get started in streaming?
So I was actually playing Titanfall 2, obviously Xbox One, and I was having some really good games. I was just going back to back, 32-0. I mean, just some crazy numbers. And I decided to start streaming it, as I was kind of on a grind to be eventually top 100 on Xbox. That was my goal. And I saw my view count in the top on Mixer, because that's what you would broadcast to from the Xbox. Rest in peace. I watched it go from 0 to 1, and I didn't pull my phone up or anything. I just saw it go to 1, and it was so surreal to me that I could maybe stream to people. Like, they could see what I'm doing. I could do this. It just instantly became addicted to the process of what does it mean to go live? What is really involved in this? And I had actually built a fairly decent computer a couple of years prior, so it was getting older, but it did what it needed to do, which was, RuneScape, YouTube, and Netflix. A little bit of World of Warcraft, I guess, but not too much at that point. And I plugged in an old Logitech C920. Had a little snowball mic. We're talking less than $100 of equipment here, and I went live. I started to get a little bit of traction. Started actually playing Minecraft. I looked like that was really good on Mixer. Played some Minecraft. I actually hated Minecraft, so wasn't excited playing the game. So what I did was I made fun of the game as a way of growing. Playing open lobbies with people. Send me a message. Let's play. And the whole option or the whole goal of the streams, and this was for a whole month straight, was to place TNT in the map and then blow up the TNT at the end of the stream and hope it was enough to break the world.
Oh boy, that that
Yeah,
that sounds that sounds fun actually.
it was my first month of streaming was just that every day. I mean, we're talking sometimes every day of the week. I was just so in love with doing it, meeting people, and it started to blow my mind to see people coming back. Right, that was what really started to keep me invested. Sure, I'm excited and enjoying it, but when you see somebody return, that was a different dynamic for me on an emotional and personal level as the human and not trying to be entertaining by blowing things up. Um, and that kind of began to develop as I started off. By the end of my first month, actually, I had over 500 followers. Was feeling good. Backed away from Minecraft and started to play other games like Warframe and kind of experiment with new stuff and new stuff on the platform too. And it really got me out of my comfort zone with gaming, which was good. I think I needed that on a personal level. And that's where I met a lot of people who have actually now become some of my best friends. They're obviously mods, but they're also truly best friends. I mean, to experience that level of personality throughout the journey has been crazy. And then that kind of developed into where I stand now, which is not streaming, but creating content in the goal of facilitating a positive environment, a place where people can come, that they can make friends, they can be a friend, that if whether it be they're sad or excited or energetic or not overseas or whatever, that's where we can find different ways to unite and sort of bring together our common shared passion of gaming, music or whatever or what have you. And we sort of just get through life by sharing those things and not being afraid to be human. I've enjoyed it ever since. Went from mixer partner to not very quickly, and now we're on Twitch and absolutely, I gotta say, liking it.
Well, that is lovely, man. Like that is from humble beginnings as to where you are now. You know, with the positive poison community and the YouTube content. I know you did you are you still aiming for 1,000 subscribers or did you hit that?
Yeah, we're actually. I've been pushing really hard. We should. My goal is 1,000 by my birthday on August 10th. We're sitting at about a 911 right now, so I think it's doable.
I think so too. So I kind of want to talk about how you kind of want to prod a little bit
Sure.
and talk about how you felt after you saw the mixer was shutting down.
Ooh. So I'm not good at loss. I'm just not good at that in general in my life. I am a nostalgic. I like things the way they are. Please don't change kind of person. Um I just kind of always have been. And that's probably one of the reasons I go back to. I may not play it, but I'll still pull up YouTube and just watch a King K retrospective on Morrowind, right? I'll just for an hour I'll just spend in my day with my headphones on listening to someone talk about a game I used to love, that I still love and fondly think of often. Um, I'm just bad at kind of letting those things go. And I'm not sure if that's a bad thing or not. That's always been part of my characteristics is nostalgia. Heck, if they were to remake Star Fox 64 again, even though I already bought it for my 3DS once, probably would still buy
Oh,
it.
it'd probably still be a good game. So
Oh, that's also true. It is also true. So, actually, fun fact on that, I recently went back and replayed Star Fox Adventures 2, which, oh my gosh, it is a classic. So, I think when Mixer announced it, a lot of us kind of saw something coming, but not that soon. Um, I actually kind of just I didn't shut down to it. I sort of just accepted it. Went live on Mixer a couple of times with Restream. The day of the announcement, I set up Restream. I got things going on Twitch. Um, I put the focus that day. Everyone, let's go to Twitch. We're gonna stream the Mixer a couple of times this way as we transition out, earn affiliate. Into the first week, we streamed every day just to assure that we had that affiliate. A week after the announcement, Mixer was going to shut down. We were trying to live life as normal as possible on Twitch. No more restream. Less emotes, new bandwidth, new bit rate. I mean, everything was so different. But and then I decided to move my house. So I think all at the same time of the Mixer announcement, I sort of threw a lot of change at once, which is again something I'm not really good at usually going for. Uh, and it kind of kept me, I think, on the up and up. It kept me positive. It kept me thinking about what's next. In this case, it was which box am I unpacking? Which box am I packing? Is the house going to sell? Is Twitch going to land? Is the community going to show? And back to back like dominoes, the answers continually showed to be yes. The community will show. The community will continue to be absolutely beautiful no matter where we are. Yes, the house is going to sell. It's actually pending right now. Yes, the new house is fine. Yes, the gigabit internet is good. Yes, the cows don't hate me. It ended up being a lot of good, a lot of good. So I think the way I took it was just kind of in stride. We knew it was going to happen, but not when. The win came much, much sooner than any of us could have anticipated. And I think a lot of communities ache, but overall, I think we're better for it.
Yeah, the Mixer family, though divided, is still very much a family.
It really is, and it's so fascinating to see.
Do you think you could elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. A couple of people who've gone from Mixer partner to non-partner on Twitch. Some of them have been rejected. Some of us, like myself, are still waiting for a response. And while we have inklings of what that may mean, kind of anticipating a rejection, we know that we're still going to keep going. However, at the same time, there are people, quite a few friends of mine actually, I'm watching get that purple check mark on Twitch. And there isn't a level of, I'm sure there's some jealousy and animosity across a few of the communities, but as a general rule of thumb, people see that and they celebrate in uniformity. It's not, why don't I have a check mark? It's, he had a check mark on Mixer. Darn straight he deserves it on Twitch. And that's where we're at right now is unifying around these little achievements and the big achievements, the little achievements of getting affiliate and the big achievements of achieving partnership, the little achievements of watching our community members who are streamers on Mixer who couldn't get partnership, whether it be a follow or concurrent or the fact they just kept getting rejected. Now they're sitting at affiliate and they have their own subs. So sure, it's not the same prestige from an optics standpoint, but they achieved it and I think they deserved it. And to kind of watch these things happen and to see each other hopping in and lurking during these pushes and being there and celebrating, trying to get the first badges and all of these things over here, it shows that we didn't just come over to Twitch and restart. We came to Twitch with a fire that by the end of that first week, I can't think of anybody who, if they wanted to be, didn't end up leaving with an affiliate title. And just to see that power of a whole platform and in the inner circles that it had allowed to be built as a platform, they didn't abandon one another in the fear or the hype or the little fish big pond. That was definitely the feeling. I think it's beautiful. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, the way that Twitch it kind of embraced the Mixer streamers and also Facebook and I assume other platforms, but I'm not sure. I can't really comment on that. But the way
Maybe
Twitch and
YouTube, right?
oh yeah, YouTube. The way that these platforms have been handling the Mixer shutdown has just been beautiful. I mean, to watch. I mean, it's something really bad and horrible for streamers. Um, Twitch and Facebook and YouTube really stepped up to the plate to help out their fellow creators.
Yeah, and to teach us a lot of things. We some of the nuances to pre rolls and ads being run during the stream. Little things like that. I could propose the question. Turns out there's some new Twitch viewer in the chat lurking, doing their thing, hasn't followed, hasn't anything like that, and they're willing to just step up and ask the question. And in the process of answer the question for me, and in the process of answering the question, and then the community saying, "Oh, that makes sense," maybe asking a couple of more details back, or simply accepting it and saying thank you, like if we understood it. Um, Now they follow. Like just to kind of see the way of that they were hesitant but welcoming and open, and we had a chance to sort of prove our gratitude for it as well. I think it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's really nice the way that, especially like not even just the platforms, but like the viewers and the communities behind these platforms too. Really embrace the new creators.
Yeah, that's true.
So, how has your transition to Twitch been?
At first, it was rough. There were a couple of bitrate changes from a technological standpoint that I had to really adjust. So I started off at 1080p, tried 720, back to back to back. Ended up calling my ISP and had a full refresh. Then I dropped everything down to a rescale of 900p. Not a big difference from that to 1080, but the emotions of it is I was always 1080p at 60 frames per second on Mixer. I'd hate to drop that just because of Twitch, but we had to. Dropped it down a little bit, and now the stream is smooth, feels good. The low latency could be an issue on the phone. People can never really quite be there as they were on Mixer with a guaranteed FTL as long as that box was checked. However, we make the best of it, and it has continued to still feel right. I will say there are a couple of things that Twitch offers, such as stream stickers, which is an extension. And as a Mixer streamer who was a partner who had custom stickers and had a community based around Sparks, having this option to allow people to select something called a sticker, which has very similar images that I took a lot of our old files and brought them over from Mixer, allowed them to click it for free and pop it up on the screen is a surreal sort of band-aid right now. I think that we need more than ever. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it has been as stressful for me as anybody, I'm sure. But I think I'm getting a handle on things.
Well, it's good, man. I'm glad it's going well for you.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah, a few days ago, you put out a video describing what kind of YouTube content you want to make.
Yeah.
Do you think you could tell the audience what kind of YouTube content you described in that video
I'm
that
gonna
you're
be
gonna
the
be
next
making?
Markiplier, yo. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I've got a whole list of creative endeavors I want to undergo, but at the same time, there is a level of, I guess, skill that needs to be built. Skill in how do I explain to somebody else my vision to take hold of the camera and record it properly? How do I then, because that's probably going to be my wife, Lady Poison. How do I then not be embarrassed? She's recording me doing some silly act, so I can in front of a green screen, so I could pop it up on the cam, on Adobe anything and make it happen, right? Like how do you do that? How do you get from thought and concept into practice? So there's gonna be a couple of changes with that I have to overcome, but I'm excited for it. The kind of content itself, though, is two. There are two things that I could not live without when it comes to YouTube. Let's plays, and I don't mean like a let's play where it's not really that well edited. It's just kind of all recorded and thrown out there. I mean, let's plays where some of the fluff is cut out, a couple of little things here and there, but more importantly than the game, the person's personality shines through. Like watching Markiplier play the Five Nights at Freddy's things, which is actually my first inspiration to create content for me was that because around the time of my mother's death, when I really decided I'm gonna get this shot, which is why I had my microphone and camera for my first day of streaming because I had tried this out years ago with YouTube. He was one who inspired that, and watching it wasn't for the game. It was fun, cool little lore facts. I watched it for him. He made it fun. He was the king of FNAF and things like that, and that's the kind of content that I really want to bring is not where it's all about me, but where my personality can turn a game that we all have played, never had interest, maybe never even heard of, into something that's more enjoyable to experience. Even if you never pick it up and play it yourself, you can at least have that common shared experience now with the community, right? And this, that goes back to the beginning of my sort of goal in this too, is community. How can I use me as the stepping stone into unifying us on multiple platforms, or maybe potentially expanding the community, meeting more people, and bringing more positivity to more people as a direct part of that too. So the content would be that, yeah, let's plays, but also more creative things too. So I want to get into more of the music. Just might just be creating my own backing tracks on the acoustic guitar. I want to start playing more in terms of reviews. I don't want to just play the game to play the game and record the whole thing and pop it out there in these 20-part episodes. I want to play a game for the love of the game. And as I go through, having played these games a dozen times in the past, I want to not look at it through the eye of nostalgia. I want to look at it through the eye of like an analytical. What really made this game great at the day it came out, and now maybe 10 years later for some of these 360 games. What made Fracture? What made Bulletstorm? What made these games good or bad? And I want to go through and review them. And that, of course, would involve more than just reviewing it, because I have cows on my property now. Why wouldn't I involve cows in a game review? Come on, that's hilarious. It's moo news. So, yeah, it's just going to be kind of content that's here, there, and everywhere, much like my thought process. If you've ever been to any of the streams, it starts off with, "Hi, how are you?" Next thing I'm talking about some weird fact about maybe a hippo. Someone in the chat mentions burritos. So now I'm talking about how I don't like beans. Then we're playing Apex Legends. I'm talking about glitches in games and software development. I'm dancing in front of a green screen with a panda mask and a lightsaber. My brain doesn't function on one thing at a time. It's got 30 things going on at one time, and that's that's my sweet spot. So I think it's going to be the YouTube content as well. It's going to be diverse. Now the part of being full-time content, for now at least, is dedicating more time to it and making sure that there is a structure among the chaos, that there's order in this chaos, that there is a schedule. Okay, yeah, his brain is in 30 places at once, but can I expect the Skyrim Let's Play today and the Halo one tomorrow? Maybe a review on Thursday. Like, how do I get that sort of groove going as well? So now is the hard part of taking two steps back, breathing, and writing all down.
Yeah, planning out your content, especially on YouTube, is basically essential. So I can definitely
Right.
understand that.
It's a different
I
beast.
did not realize that you lived on a farm until I saw that YouTube video with the cows.
Yeah, I am. I'm Farmer Dan. Yeah, we moved out here with my in-laws. Actually, we finished the basement and jumped in as kind of an option to a save money, but also b to, be with family, take care of the fam, have the fam take care of us as well as we try to have a baby, and then in turn of basically taking over their mortgage, as rent, it essentially becomes let us upgrade your internet, let us help you with the animals. What can we learn? How can I be useful on the property? And so there's a lot of angles to it, but it ended up being actually the greatest decision, because it wasn't long after we began to settle that my employer for my day job actually let me go. So I mean, had we not done this come to the farm thing, I would have been having a please welcome me to the farm now moment.
Yeah, you would have been there either way, but at least you were there before,
At least I can say it
unemployment
was
hit.
by choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes you technically a full-time content creator now, right?
For the time being, that is correct.
How does that feel?
Scary and awesome. It's funny when you have a day job to kind of go to. You can play your video games on your lunch break. You can play some RuneScape while you're doing your meetings and stuff, and be fine. Then you stream in the evening, and whether or not you get bits, it's okay. You get some subs, it's all right. You're having a good time. But now I have to find a way to not just say this is about community and mean that 100% and be appreciative of the rest. Now the financial aspect of things has to be woven in such a way that I not only A, communicate that this is about community first and foremost, but B, how do I make sure that my heart is always in check too, that my mind and heart align, that yes, bills need to be paid. However, the value of people is greater than the value of, you know, do I have the newest iPhone? Do I also have the newest watch to go with it? Ooh, what about an iPad? Is my screen protector a $30 one or a $10 one? I'm gonna have to begin to sort of think these things out and balance those in a way I haven't before around the content too, so that every time I hit go live, every time I hit publish, every time I respond to a comment or I tweet something out, that people can know for sure the intentions of Poison Kill are whole and honest. That yes, he has to make a living to continue eating until the farm is fully sufficient, right? um, but he he isn't just here to be taking our money. And so that's where the fear part comes in, is can I find that balance? How long will it take me to find that balance? And then whether or not I find it, can I settle into it in time, right? So there's a lot of excitement around that too, is again change, but it's the change that maybe for the first time in my life I've wanted to happen. So am I sad I lost the job? Sure. Been there for 5 years. Am I excited that I lost the job? Yeah, I think for the first time in my life, I'm ready for the change, except for when I got married, obviously. So maybe the second time.
Yeah, that'd be a great change.
That's where it's at.
So, do you have any projects that you're working on right now, other than like YouTube, like any other platforms that you're thinking about?
Yeah, I've actually been trying to split up my my brain into a couple of directions. I would like Instagram to have my farm content as well as my gym content as we also build the gym here in the garage on the farm. I'm actually a certified personal trainer, so it would be interesting to, as I get back in my fitness journey, since I was really comfortable on Mixer and putting on a couple of LBs, it would be nice to be able to teach people more than just gaming. It would be nice to show people some of the things you can do at home with or without equipment. And that would be on Instagram. So are you interested about cows and farming? Here's some hashtag farm life. What about the gains though? Here's this how you can keep healthy among all things. And I think a fitness is a huge mental health thing as well, in a positive way. So I think that's going to be a really interesting way to sort of bridge the gap of gaming and also agriculture. So we'll see where that goes. As for Twitter, I'm just trying to be more active. I know that it's a great platform for potential reach, but it's so easy to fall into the rut of going live tweets. And your feed is just nothing but going live tweets. How do you bring value to Twitter? How does somebody stopping by or seeing your tweet or hearing you have a Twitter on stream, whether they do or don't use Twitter, how do you bring a value to their life with your feed? And that's where trying to incorporate more community things has been interesting. So more polling, more retweeting of other creators that they might not know of, and trying to add my own spin to things as well with those retweets. So that the feed isn't just, hey, I'm going live again, but it's truly hey, you know me, you kind of know this guy. Well, here's something he's got going on too. Maybe we can collab in the future, and just trying to find that balance there. Of course, YouTube for more of the curated, highly edited content, and then live. Those are the four things I'm focusing on most for content. I don't really believe that I'm going to begin to throw a lot of attention into Facebook or anything like that. A lot of people you'll see they have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, YouTube, and the stream, and a job, and they're getting married. So much. I don't want to try to spread myself too thin and create sure maybe good content, but here and there. I want to make sure the content I put out is good and reliably consistent on a smaller amount of platforms.
Yeah, being stretched too thin is definitely a way to burn yourself out real quick. Have you ever dealt with burnout?
No, actually. I I have I have consistent yeah, a little bit at one point during my first rejection from Mixer, I began to feel kind of that maybe something was like a burnout, but it went away as quickly as it came. Because I had applied for partner around Halloween of 2019. So I started streaming in early. So I think I started streaming in April, right? Um, Applied for partnership in around Halloween, get rejected. Started to feel a little bit of a burnout around then because I just the anticipation just to be a letdown by the end of it. But it went away fairly quickly when I actually got an email saying, "Hey, good luck, better luck next time." Um, which says, try again in 3 months is how Mixer held it or how they handled that process. I went live an hour later because that's when the email came in, an hour before my stream. After an off day that I didn't get to spend resting because I was constantly freaking out about that email. When is it going to come? What's the answer going to be? Go live. And even though I had told nobody I applied, the amount of love was, we were hitting new highs on numbers without raids, without crazy hosts. And that was, to me, reaffirmation that the community might not know every detail of what goes on behind the scenes, but you better believe they have a pulse on it and they're there. And even though they only had an hour of unprepared, unannounced craziness, they were still there. And that really helped me by the end of that week overcome that feeling of sorrow and failure. Turns out about a month later, Mixer undid my cancellation and had me retry anyway. So it was good I didn't get down and out about it because they were just gonna give me a second shot.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, my partnership isn't normal. Well, wasn't normal. I After my rejection, I was in a couple of other things and just talking to people, and I got I actually got a DM from Mixer staff, and I don't, however much of this is NDA, I don't think it matters now. Um, uh, this person basically said, "You got rejected. I'm sorry to hear that. I got to see your stream. Check your email." So I ran through and checked my email, and there was nothing. So I go back frantically. My wife's in the other room and she's hearing this, and I go back to the DM and I'm like, "There's nothing there. What am I looking for?" So I had a hunch. I guarantee they reset my application process. Ran to my computer, scream across the house, "Babe, I can reapply." She's confused. She has no idea what's going on. I have her come in the room. I pop the chair up. I give her my nice gaming chair, and I take some like old IKEA chair and I sit next to her for an hour. And we fully revise my application letter to make it a second try, and not just a copy paste of the first one. And we critique it, save it a couple times in Google Docs, submit it. Beginning of the next week, hey, your partner. So yeah, it's definitely not. I consider myself a first time applicant just because of how weird it was.
Well, I think that goes to show just how strong of a community that you've built over the course of your time on Mixer and now on Twitch, because they showed up for you like a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and still continue to, even if all they can do is lurk one day because they've got life or whatever it may be. The community will find a way to at least say hi, and the way they do.
So what do you like necessarily think of when someone asks you for advice on community building? Like, how do you usually respond with that? Because I'm assuming that you've been asked that before.
Yeah, many times. And anytime anyone asks ever about building community, about starting to stream, it's rough because starting to stream is easy. A schedule. Don't spend money at first. Give yourself time. Do you even like it? When it comes to community, what I've had to change my angle on, instead of say things like play the games you like and you'll meet people you love, or play the games you love and you'll meet people you like, right? That that only works to a degree because then at some point you see the I guess that's just statistical probability here of or the likelihood that you're going to end up being somebody who streams to zero for a long time, especially on Twitch now. So why am I telling people things that aren't really going to bring them value? And if it ever does, maybe years later. So what's the balance there? The balance that I found personally is explaining to people that yes, this is going to be rough. Um, obviously, play what you want at first. Don't spend money. A lot of those things are definitely true principles I stick by. But when it comes to community, don't assume you are to become a streamer. I know it hurts to hear. Um, I have to remind myself sometimes too, though. I think to assume that you are to become the content creator is fallacious from its very beginning. What if you aren't to be the streamer? What if you're the best mod ever and you just don't know it yet? What if you're that community member that has money and is able to supply with gifted subs and impacts the streamer's life and makes the content possible? What if you're that person who's just a good lurker and knows when to pop in and say lol? you know, what if you're that kind of person? What if you're the kind of community member that's able to keep the conversation going for the streamer and the community, whether they're there active or not, whether they're trying to clutch a kill in a game, or maybe they're just in the middle of a crazy video and they're not talking. Maybe they're BRB'd. Whatever it is, are you able to get the community in the chat riled up, talk, to hype about something? Are you able to do that? These are at which Twitch directly rewards with that conductor badge, which is really cool from a financial standpoint. From a conversational piece, I know they don't have leveling systems, but they at least have the tiers with subs. I guess it kind of show like how long you've been there. I find it interesting that there are so many angles and pieces to building a community that you might not be the builder of the community from the face, but you might be one of without you an essential part to creating a community. And I think that's what I usually will stick to telling people is if you enjoy it, do it. If it isn't working, sure, keep going. But to build the community, first establish where you fall into the puzzle. Like what puzzle piece are you? What ingredient in this pie are you? Are you the base? Or are you the top that everyone sees, that real nice, pretty top? Which are you the streamer? Are you the person in the background nobody knows about, but without you, it doesn't happen? Find where you are first so that when you meet people, you can adequately lead the community by knowing you before you've ever tried to define them.
Huh. I've never really thought about it like that. It's a very interesting perspective. And that's kind of just been brought about by your experience, right?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, I actually didn't even watch streams. So my first month of streaming, I didn't watch streams at all. And then I started to, I guess about 3 weeks in, maybe I began to really kind of watch a couple by lurking different things like auto host and stuff and getting some ideas of content out there. Really, at first, looking for ideas to steal before I begin to have my own creative, inspiration and really not steal them, but reform them. Um, so yeah, that's just been experience. It wasn't really years of watching and thinking about it. Just kind of the school of hard knocks. Wow, I'm getting a lot of followers fast. Things are going pretty well. I should probably think about this in a deeper level than welcome to the stream.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, the word you were looking for is inspiration.
There we go.
You were
Much more
inspired.
politically correct.
You were inspired to borrow those
Yes.
ideas from other streamers.
To borrow, thank you. Oh, I like this. There you go. Are you a PR manager?
Well, I'm just good with words. So I kind of want to know more about how you came about your brand, because you were talking about how you were watching these other streamers for inspiration with air quotes. How like the panda spam became a thing, how pretty much everything about your like unique about your branding, like visuals and everything. How did that come about?
Accidents. Every step of the way, accident and chance. Um, PoisonKill is a name that I adopted years ago on the Xbox 360 when I was professionally playing Halo 3, semi-professionally, I guess on a regional level. Um, and somebody recognized me from RuneScape where I was featured in Tip.it way back in the day. And my name wasn't PoisonKill yet. My Xbox name was the same as my RuneScape name. Dude recognizes me after I stomp his face in Halo 3. I'm thinking, he's like, oh, I know you're from RuneScape. I'm thinking he's going to hack me. I should have just said, thanks. Hi, you want to play sometime? Instead, I freaked out. He's going to hack me. So I blocked him and changed my name. I spent like $10 that day to change my name on the Xbox. PoisonKill just kind of came to me. Went with it, stuck with it. It's been the same since, and I actually still like it. I've been called PK and Poison for, well, I've been called PK since I started streaming. That was a new one. I've been called Poison since then. So there are people that have become really good friends of mine through the Xbox and have just always called me Poison. They know my first name. They know my wife's name, but she's Lady Poison or Toxic Moose back in the day, and I'm Poison. Doesn't matter. They just, well, that's what I am on their phone. That's what I am to them. I find it interesting. And then in terms of the branding around it with the skull and the positive poison and the slime, again, kind of an accident. I mean, I was talking to my wife one day about the first week in. I'm like, babe, we already got 100 followers. This is super fun. I have to make a logo. Can I spend $10 or $20 online to make one? She's like, well, why don't we just get an idea first? Pulls up Instagram and starts going through different like random pre-made images, and next thing you know, my wife has come up. She found this like slimy skull that for some reason was an Instagram image that you could attach to your posts. She angles it, puts Poison Kill below it. Done. I love it. I love it so much. I go with it. I actually screenshot that from her phone. We sent it to me. It's got the pink and the green, like kind of the pinkish purple and the green. There's my colors. There's my skull. There's my logo. Done. It's evolved to become more professional sense, but that was when that image and color scheme became a thing. Just a on the whim Instagram goof session. We literally took a picture of it up against a pillow to give a black background to start throwing things on. For positive poison, I realized very quickly I've never really cussed. I've never been one to curse. I've always just kind of kept things clean and family friendly by default. Um, sure, I enjoy some potty humor or whatever with my friends if it's just us and we're chilling out by the fire with some drinks, but or maybe a celebratory cigar or something. But other than that, I'm just generally a clean comedy person. You know, I like myself some Tim Hawkins, some Jim Gaffigans. I enjoy the rest, but that's just kind of where I fall in. So I wanted something that made sure that that the name Poison Kill wouldn't be assumed to be a negative person who just wants to quote get the dub, you know. And so Positive Poison kind of evolved from that. In my second month of streaming, Positive Poison was a joke. I put it in my bio as kind of a lull, and then somebody actually read it, and that's what the first words out of their mouth were in my stream was, "What's this Positive Poison thing?" And I had no answers, so I had to kind of make something up on the whim. And as I began to sort of like on the fly try to pull information together, I realized, holy, this kind of works. And it catches the eye, it catches the ear. Positive poison. What the heck is this? Doesn't make any sense, but it does. And we're turning the negative of life, the poison. We're turning what is to bring death into life by embracing it, understanding our mortality, understanding that there's a value in the time we have here. And as a Christian, that reigns home very very loudly and proudly. But even just as a person who loves people, we have a limited time. Don't let the sorrow stop you from impacting someone else, and by direct correlation, possibly causing less sorrow in other lives, having more positivity, having more enjoyable experiences, having more experiences that aren't regretted on our deathbeds because we decided to say, it's okay, I love you anyways. It's okay. Panda spam, accident. There was a mixer sticker that was a panda, and it was really funny how one particular person in the chat, one of the sweetest people on Mixer, I guarantee she's top 10 sweetest people on Twitch. I don't care how big the platform is. It's Pat. She kept dropping the stickers, 1,000 sparks. It was fun. And I guess one day I caught on the fact that she was going to drop it consistently. So I just tried to recreate the sticker. I was like, what is the pose it's making? And then it became a thing that people would do a sort of a makeshift panda spam when they noticed that I would make the pose like panda, just do that, whatever. They began to spam the panda, and I would go full screen on the camera and stand up and hold the pose and crank the music up a little bit. And it would be a whole thing. It was a joke. Uh, then one day I'm working from home and I'm just hit with inspiration. What if I just did that in front of a green screen and I had pandas behind me? So what started off as that ended up having flying pandas in space while I wore a panda mask and I swung a lightsaber. So that escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did, and it makes you very unique. That full panda spam thing. It's just, I mean, and now you use the little the Steam sticker extension. You have like the little panda that you can just kind of put on the stream in
Yeah,
place of
which
the thousand spark sticker from Mixer.
yeah, and I even had made my own sticker on it too. So I just took it and made a free one. No bits required. It's about community. Let's just enjoy the time we have with these bits or without the bits and just drop the stickers on. Yeah, it's fun. And they all make a little squeak sound because that's the sound that the panda makes. At least in our community, it's a little squeaky thing, like a little squeaky toy. His name has officially become Doug. Doug the panda.
How did I not know that? I've been in your community for a long time and I didn't know he had a name. Is that new?
It's kind of like an Easter egg. Yeah, it's sort of one of those things that is true. Like we always say panda. It actually is a reference to the dog from Up, who is always distracted by the squirrel. And since I am the panda and the panda spam, and this is the panda sticker, it makes sense that my attention span would be reflected in the name of the panda. So he's Doug.
Squirrel.
Yep.
That was a great movie.
Actually, exclamation point squirrel in the chat. We'll have a little panda bounce across the screen.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So we have been on for about almost 50 minutes. That's about how long we usually go for on here. Um, so I would like to just start closing things down. Do you have any closing thoughts or any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Oh, that's a big one. I think in closing thoughts, I'd like to kind of take a statement I made before and make sure I soften the edges of it. When I say maybe you're not supposed to be a streamer, I don't mean that you probably suck. You might be incredible. What I'm saying is your ability to rally people might be different than anyone else's. Your ability to play a game and make it entertaining might be different than someone else's. So stream if that's something you want to do, but always be looking at yourself and saying, where do I fit in this grand scheme of life? Where's my puzzle? What puzzle piece am I? Am I a corner? Am I a center? Am I that one that you don't know until it's the last piece? What are you in the community in the grand scheme of community building and the communities you're a part of? As as for what that means, I think it means you hold value whichever position you're in, and don't assume that it has to be the one that's the most fun to you right now, because your perspective honestly might change in 6 months. Once you try the other ones out, you might realize, yeah, that was a cool idea, would have been fun, but I'm so much better and enjoy this one so much more. I don't want to see people keep having crushed hopes and abandoned watch, not even just trying to stream, but watching streams because of a perceived failure when it was never a failure. You just weren't succeeding in the area you were supposed to be in, which you would have absolutely crushed in. And I want to see people do well. That's why I say that. As for shout outs, to the origin of my inspiration, the one who I hated at first and then fell in love with when I came back, Dad Got Game. Always been a consistent content creator, always been consistently about community. He's always been willing to say I love Jesus, I love you, and that has always resonated with me very, very strongly. Consider him a good friend. As for anything else, stream stickers. Use it.
All right. Well, just like I mentioned at the beginning, you can catch PoisonKill on Twitch or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Instagram.
That real poison kill in all the places.
Yes, real poison kill. 3 words, no spaces.
They
So
just mush together.
thank you for being on the show. It's been a real pleasure, and I will see you next week.
Really has. Thank you so much, man.